Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old accused in a store robbery both are in custody. And negotiators are close to reaching a deal to release several hostages taken by Hamas, the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. And a defense attorney based in Houston is in court accused of supplying narcotics to inmates in jail. The details in the investigation this afternoon.
Well, the cool and windy weather is with us for most of the week. You can see how the cloud deck will thin out a little bit tomorrow, so a little bit more sun, but still on the breezy side. We'll talk about what to expect for the entire weekend coming up in just a moment.
Journalism schools in Canada are having a tough time retaining students in their programs. They're now taking a more modern approach. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. Sunday night, Victoria police arrested 20-year-old Armaz T. Bordeaux Wade. He's a suspect in a store robbery in the 3600 block of Houston Highway. Wade faces 3 charges of aggravated robbery. He's at the Victoria County Jail in lieu of a $121,000 bond. A 15-year-old juvenile was also taken into custody as a suspect in the robbery. A death connected to the use of fentanyl was reported in Edna. This weekend, Edna Police Department responded to a call involving a 32-year-old man who was found unresponsive. The officers later discovered the person was found dead. After the investigation, 3 people, or rather there were a couple of street drugs found near the person that were believed to have been taken by the individual. A toxicology report released today confirmed that high levels of fentanyl were among the cause of the person's death. Jackson County Sheriff's deputies arrested 32-year-old Jonathan Hester in Victoria Monday. He was wanted on an assault charge. Hester is now in the Jackson County Jail. And Monday night, Ganado police arrested 2 suspects at the TA truck stop. The 2 suspects are William Guerrera and Lazaro Cardenas, both of Houston. These suspects are accused of stealing around 650 gallons of diesel from the truck stop. Authorities say a large number of fraudulent credit and debit cards were located nearby. And now let's take a look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Perez. Mac, you're telling me I need to bring out that sweater around this time of year now?
I think it's going to look real nice just in time for Thanksgiving. So I'm sure by now you've pulled in the closet and figured out which sweater you're going to be using. A little bit of overcast, a little gusty wind out there. We're looking at 58 degrees. Consider that yesterday we were, 81? The wind still on the stiff side. Tomorrow, a little bit more sun and then some drizzle possible on Thursday. We'll be talking more about that coming up in just a moment. Karina, back to you.
Mac, thank you. We now turn to the latest in the Israel-Hamas war. Israel and Hamas are on the verge of a deal in exchange for a temporary truce. It comes as Israel signals it will expand its operation into southern Gaza.
A potential agreement on the horizon to release dozens of hostages being held by Hamas since the October 7th terrorist attack. A Hamas leader telling ABC News the group is close to a deal and that now it's just up to Israel to accept the terms. President Biden also expressing optimism.
We're now very close, very close. We could bring some of these hostages home very soon.
The Israeli government voting this afternoon on the agreement. A U.S. official tells ABC that would mean about 50 women and children would be let go in exchange for the release of about 150 Palestinian women and minors held in Israeli jails and a 4-day ceasefire to allow humanitarian aid into Gaza. An Israeli source briefed on the deal tells ABC each day of the ceasefire would see a batch of 10 to 12 hostages released. And if Hamas continues to release hostages, the ceasefire could be extended. Families of the hostages desperate for their loved ones to come home.
I think the only thing that I could call justice is bringing everyone back home.
This as the war rages on in Gaza, devastating strikes killing dozens of civilians, according to the United Nations. Patients being evacuated from overwhelmed hospitals, including the Indonesian hospital in North Gaza. Children on stretchers seen loaded off a bus to another hospital in the south. This makeshift shelter set up to help Palestinians who have been displaced. UN officials saying that number is about 1.7 million in Gaza.
The circumstances of our shelters very tough. They are suffering a lot.
And Israel is also under fire over mounting violence from Israeli settlers against Palestinians in the West Bank amid the war, with President Biden calling on those settlers to be held accountable. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
A 77-year-old defense attorney was arrested accused of supplying paper laced with ecstasy and synthetic marijuana to inmates inside the Harris County Jail, where 3 people have died in the jail last week. Ronald Lewis is charged with 2 counts of prohibited substance in a correctional facility. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says the 3 deaths were not connected to Lewis, but one is believed to involve some kind of illegal substance. He also believes there are similar cases involving attorneys supplying illegal supplies to inmates. Enrollment in many journalism schools across Canada are dropping. Administrators are looking for new ways to attract and keep students.
So I was between Humber and Ryerson.
Fernando Bossois came all the way from Brazil to study journalism in Canada.
Journalism is a pillar of democracy, right?
Then found out his program at Humber College Lakeshore is pausing admissions after this year due to low enrollment. Last year, his class had 7 students. Now it's down to 4.
It doesn't make for a good student experience, right? Because a good part of journalism school is to have the debate and the different opinions.
In the last year, low enrollment forced 6 journalism programs at Canadian post-secondary institutions to either close doors or pause admissions. University of Regina pressed pause.
It has a long and rather, we think, distinguished history. So we wanted to give it a chance to restructure itself, reform itself, in the hopes of attracting new students.
The reasons range from changes within the industry, including major layoffs, to younger generations' lower interest in traditionally delivered news.
You hear from other students as how we're not taking journalism, that they say, like, why are you taking this? Like, there are not really jobs available.
But it's not all bad news. The top journalism schools in the country, like Toronto Metropolitan University, Carleton, or Concordia, are noting robust or even growing enrollment. What these schools say they've done is updated lessons to include more contemporary approaches to storytelling, including journalism and social media, podcasting, and data journalism. Programs also have to take a hint from what young people see as troublesome practices in mainstream journalism, says this professor.
For example, coverage of issues related to race, sexuality. So I think in our education and training, we need to reflect this paradigm shift.
I still see news from back home.
As for Fernando Bossois, he will complete his program and wants to be part of a generation that breathes fresh air into an industry at a crossroads.
Students and faculty say schools need to reinvent their programs for the digital age so they can attract prospective journalists. A 2023 report by the Institute Digital News shows younger people are turning to social media for news rather than conventional newscasts. City Council members in the city of Victoria are meeting right now to discuss holding a special election for mayor. This comes after Victoria Mayor Jeff Bouknight announced a run for the District 30 seat. Under law, if an elected official aims for another office with over a year left in their term, they must resign but remain in the role until another mayor is elected. The City Council has plans to call a special election for February 3rd of this coming year. Candidates have until December 4th of this year to enter the race. We will have more information on this council meeting tonight. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. A shooting in Colorado leaves 3 people dead and 1 person in serious conditions. Stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News now we'll find the suspect in that shooting now caught. Also ahead, get ready for a historic holiday travel season. Federal authorities issue a warning as this year is set to break records once again.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Crime Stoppers is seeking information regarding a murder. On August 4th, 2010, at about 3:30 a.m., David Benitez, a 49-year-old male, was fatally stabbed. He was found at the end of the driveway at the 1200 block of East Loma Vista, bleeding heavily from multiple wounds. He was taken to a local hospital where he later died. If you have any information about this murder, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. With the Victoria Police Department, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
A man accused of killing 3 people in Colorado was found and arrested today after an extensive manhunt. Colorado police said 45-year-old Henry Clark is accused of shooting 4 people on Monday after a dispute over property lines. No word yet on who it was, but authorities have not released the names of those who died.
When the shooting happened, there were 4 adult males and 1 adult female, and the suspect came out and shot 4 of those people. A 5th one was able to get safely away and was our witness, and then the female was the one who survived with critical injuries.
The injured victim, a woman, was in serious condition at last report. Almost a quarter of people seeking abortions in the United States are struggling to get one. Preliminary data from the CDC shows women are having babies in states banning the procedure. Those states have a 2.3% higher fertility rate. On the other hand, research also shows the number of abortions is higher than it was before the Supreme Court decision. That's true for less restrictive states bordering those with bans. And this week we celebrate all for which we are thankful for. The health experts say you can carry that feeling all year long, just not during the holiday season.
This time of year, there are 2 words often used interchangeably: thankfulness and being grateful. But health experts say they're different.
Gratitude is more of an attitude and a choice and something we actively practice over time, and thankfulness is a part of that.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says gratitude is about having an awareness and appreciation for what's good in life. She says it can help your health.
We feel less stressed. We feel happier overall, more hopeful and positive. We're able to handle the ups and downs of life. So essentially, we're more resilient. But we also know that it even has an impact on our physical health.
Baumstein says people who are grateful tend to eat healthier, be more active, and sleep better, which can also help the immune system.
We're not born feeling grateful. It's something that needs to be learned.
Baumstein says modeling gratitude is a great way to teach children. Practice saying thank you in your house and appreciate small moments together. Even time with family is a gift. Before you gather for a Thanksgiving meal, help your kids understand how things are made and where they came from. It can help make them grateful for the food we eat.
It's also important that we really make this a ritual and a routine, and it's a consistent practice. It's not enough to do it one day a year and think that we're going to get all the benefits from it.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Cheers.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Travel this Thanksgiving could be busier than years prior. AAA estimates nearly 55.5 million people will travel to their holiday destination. The majority of travelers, nearly 89%, are planning to drive. The TSA expects a record setter for air travel, with 2.5 million people expected to fly. The holiday travel rush comes amid a drop in gas prices. The national average for a gallon of gas was just under $3.28 on Monday. So here is your viewer poll this afternoon. You can scan that QR code on your screen to vote. The question is, are you traveling this week? And are you flying? Are you driving? Or are you just staying at home? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And of course, we're going to have an update later on 25 News Now at 6. And now here's Mac.
Yeah, staying home's a good one. Well, obviously the cloud deck is here. The cool weather arrived on time last night. And for the next couple of days, we'll be staying around 60 degrees as a high temperature. Question is there any moisture? We'll take a look at that, and we'll take a look sort of the national picture to see what travel is around the state and the country. All that coming up in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Well, yes, it feels like the holidays now, doesn't it? All right, 58 degrees right about now, and that gusty north wind continues blowing around the area. The cloud deck that we had over us is beginning to thin out, so tomorrow I think you'll see a lot more sun. Only got up to 65. We were down to 57, which is kind of like now, and we're dropping down into the 40s tonight. Obviously, this is very different from 2 days ago when we were in the 80s. Looking at our rainfall total, we were 34.16 for the year. That means we're about 3 below for the year. So, I mean, it's kind of a statistical analysis because did it come at the right time of the rainfall, or was it all at one time and we missed the rest of the year? But that's kind of an indication of where we're at. Well, as you can tell right here, the satellite is cloud thinning around our area. All of the cloud deck is heaviest along the immediate coastline, but the frontal system is long past. It's all the way down south of Brownsville right about now. It is, of course, shall we say, giving us that north wind also that's blowing and keeping us on the cool side. All that stormy weather that was in Louisiana and Mississippi last night has all moved, and so there's a little rain going through Georgia, but the only real problem today, if you're traveling, or tomorrow morning, is right about here. There's New York City. Snow in upstate New York all the way through New Hampshire and then on up into Canada, and very wet down here at Dulles Air Base in Washington, D.C., where they're getting some pretty heavy rain right about now. The winds have been rather gusty, up to 27, 30 miles an hour through the area. You can see how they'll continue like that through the night and through most of tomorrow. It's on Thursday when they sort of slow down and then sort of return on us over the next couple of days. This is Future Tracker to give you an idea what's going on around the country. You're thinking, okay, we're going to go see the family. Well, the East Coast has that one storm. High pressure is in the central part of the country. That's good. But as we go all the way to Thursday and Friday, we do have a snowstorm dropping down into the Rockies. So Utah, Wyoming, Colorado will be dealing with this snowstorm. It'll be the second one. And that will be affecting them as well. Curious to know that in Portland and Seattle, it's going to be like the first time in 10 years that it doesn't rain on Thanksgiving because usually it's pretty wet there. So we'll take a look at it again. You can see how the dip in the atmosphere brings down that northerly wind. We are looking at that storm go away, and then right about here, when the Gulf air starts rolling back into the cooler land, we'll probably see a little bit of overcast and drizzle. That's Thursday. Not anything to mess up your holiday, although it might be a little damp. You know, you got to send the kids outside. And then as we get to the weekend, though, we are going to see that frontal system or that Rocky Mountain storm start rolling through here. So there's another front coming in over the weekend. Down to 45 tonight. Tomorrow, only about 61 degrees. So we're staying on the cool side of things. We'll take a look at your extended outlook, and we're looking for your day planner somewhere here. Let's go forward on this one because I'm running out of time. Anyway, small craft advisories for tomorrow, and then we're looking at a day planner. Port Lavaca, 47 in the morning, 61 in the afternoon. In Cuero, 43 in the morning, only 63 in the afternoon. And as you can see right about here, little cloud cover there, cool and windy, but then it gets sloppy beginning on Sunday as the next front comes through. Did I spell sloppy right? S-L-O-P-P? I think I did. Anyway, that's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Karina, back to you.
Thank you, Mac. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, in real estate, home sales continue to fall while prices continue to climb. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow down 63 points, the S&P 500 down 9 points, and the Nasdaq down 85 points. Oil down 6 cents, closing at $77.77 a barrel. Home sales continue to remain at their lowest level in 13 years as home buyers are priced out of the market. The National Association of Realtors says the median price for existing homes was nearly $392,000 in October, up 3.4% from a year ago. This is the fourth consecutive month of year-over-year price increases. And Thanksgiving dinner may be cheaper on average compared to last year, but it's still pricier than before the pandemic. The American Farm Bureau Federation says Thanksgiving dinner for 10 people will cost $61.17 on average this year. While it's a 4.5% drop than last year's $64.05, it's still 25% more than 2019. The Texas metro areas of El Paso and Brownsville, Harlingen are tied for the cheapest Thanksgiving meal at less than $125. And a number of city operations in Victoria will close for the Thanksgiving holiday. You can read the full list on crossroadstoday.com. And stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, Christmas in downtown Victoria is expected to be bigger and better this year, despite all of the construction downtown. Plus, here's a look at world news tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
This week, Storm Watch. It's a busy holiday travel week, tracking the possible rain, high winds, and snow as millions hit the road and take to the sky. More Americans turn to the most watched program on television, World News Tonight with David Muir.
Even with construction at the De Leon Plaza downtown, this year's Christmas in Victoria looks bigger and better than ever. Crews are putting up the yearly Christmas tree inside the City Hall courtyard. Several holiday theme events are expected to take place next month, including the tree lighting ceremony on Friday, December 1st. You don't want to miss that one. And the Christmas parade taking place the following Saturday.
We'll have something exciting that we haven't had before in the past. Right this year, we're going to have an ice slide on Friday. So it's real snow, real ice. It'll be a real snow ice slide.
Also taking place is the Merry on Main event on Friday and Saturday, December 8th and 9th. More than 100 vendors will take part in this event, along with pony rides and a petting zoo for the children. And by the way, construction at De Leon Plaza should wrap up sometime early March of 2024.
They didn't ask me about the forecast for the snow. How are they going to have icy snow down there?
Oh my goodness, we'll just have to get one of those mache ones, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure, yeah. Well,
Give that Christmas
that's great.
feel.
It looks like lots of activities down there. And certainly for this week, we're looking good.
Right.
Now, she said...
It is chilly, though,
yes,
outside.
It is. It's a little windy. And well, that's what we promised you, because it feels a lot more like the holidays, doesn't it? So today we were about 63 as a high. Tomorrow, 61. See a little bit more sun, but it's that north wind that continues blowing. The wind will settle down on Thursday, and so we have a little cloud cover and maybe a 20% chance of some drizzle or mist. Nothing significant that would really mess up the holiday, although it might get a little muddy. You know how that goes. Otherwise, better weather for Friday, which is when everybody goes shopping, right? That's right. That everybody, it's like shopping frenzy.
Getting ready for Christmas.
I should do a super duper shopping forecast.
Well, let's put Christmas in the back for a second, because we're not even through with Thanksgiving.
We're just doing Thanksgiving.
We're just doing
but
Thanksgiving.
Friday is Black Friday, right? When everybody goes for Christmas shopping.
You know what? I'm not too excited about this year's deals. I don't think many people are anymore.
You know, some people, like my sister-in-law, she cuts the newspapers. She has a map of where she's going to get all these things.
She's resourceful.
I don't. You know,
I remember, like, you know, when you were
I
little.
want that one. I need it now.
When you were little, you would, you know, after the Thanksgiving dinner, you go to Macy's, Dillard's, get those sales, and now it's just not so fun anymore.
Well,
I feel like they're robbing us.
When you were a kid, it was fun.
Because I wasn't spending the money.
Yeah, that's right.
Mom and Dad were.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So it's the one that has to pull out the credit card that goes.
And now that I'm the one pulling out the credit card, I'm like, oh, well.
That's how it works.
I see it now.
Yeah. Just wanted to say that the following weekend, which is this coming Sunday, it starts getting a little sloppy and rainy. In fact, for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I've got 20, 30, 40% chance, and may get a little sloppy for about 3 days. Just keep that in mind, because I know a lot of people are on the roadway driving. Wherever you go, don't forget your coat.
That's right. Thank you, Mac, and thank you for joining us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6.